Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived an old woman. She was very old, with silver hair and a face full of gentle wrinkles, but her eyes were bright, warm, and full of kindness. Everyone in the village loved her because she was always smiling, even when life was difficult. She lived alone in a small house near a large banyan tree. She had no children, and her husband had passed away many years ago. Yet she never complained. Every day she would sit under the tree, talk to people, and always smile. Life in the village was not easy. People worked very hard. Some were farmers, some were carpenters, and others worked in the small market. Sometimes the rain did not come, and the crops dried up. Sometimes people became sick and could not work. Many villagers felt worried, tired, and sad. One day, a young woman named Radha came to the old lady. Radha was crying, her face filled with fear and worry. She said, "I don't know what to do. My husband went to the city to find work, but he hasn't sent any money. My children are hungry, and I am scared." The old lady looked at Radha and smiled gently. "Sit down, my child," she said. "Tell me, what do you think will happen?" Radha wiped her tears and replied, "I don't know. I keep thinking bad things will happen. What if my husband can't find work? What if he forgets about us?" The old lady slowly shook her head and said, "Radha, when we think negative thoughts, our pain becomes heavier. But when we think positive thoughts, our hearts feel lighter, and sometimes good things begin to happen." Radha asked sadly, "But how can I think positive when everything feels so bad?" The old lady smiled again and said, "Let me tell you a story." Radha listened carefully. Once, there was a poor man who had nothing, no food, no money, no family. One day, he sat by a river crying. An old woman came to him and asked, "Why are you crying?" The man replied, "I have nothing. How can I ever be happy?" The old woman smiled and said, "You have the river, you have the trees, you have the sun. Look around you. Life and beauty are everywhere. If you only focus on what you don't have, you will always be sad. But if you focus on what you do have, you will find peace." The man listened. Slowly, he stopped crying. He began to notice the good things around him. And from that day on, his life started to change. The old lady looked at Radha and said, "You see, my dear, his life did not change because of magic. It changed because he changed his thinking. When we think positively, our hearts become stronger and we are better able to face our problems." Radha thought for a moment and asked, "Can my thoughts really change my life?" The old lady smiled softly and replied, "Yes. If you wake up every morning and tell yourself, 'Today will be a good day,' you will find the strength to work, to care for your children, and to wait for your husband with hope. But if you only think about what might go wrong, you will feel weak and hopeless." Radha slowly nodded. "I understand. I will try to think positive thoughts from now on." "That is the first step, my child," the old lady said. Radha left the house with a lighter heart. Every day she remembered the old lady's words. Each morning she told herself, "Today will be a good day." She worked hard, took care of her children, and prayed for her husband's return. A few weeks later, Radha received a letter. Her husband had found a job in the city and was sending money home. Radha was filled with joy. She ran to the old lady's house to share the good news. The old lady smiled and nodded. "You see, my dear, when we think positive thoughts, we invite good things into our lives. Problems will always come, but when we face them with hope, we can overcome them." Soon, other villagers began coming to the old lady, sharing their worries and fears.
She gave them all the same advice: think positive thoughts and good things will follow. The villagers loved her even more because her words had changed their lives. She had taught them the true power of positive thinking.